Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy to have you here with us today.
In this episode, we're going to talk about something very powerful in life and in communication. The power of not reacting.
Yes, Jason. Many times in life, people get angry, upset, or nervous, and they react too quickly, but sometimes the smartest thing you can do is not react right away.
That's right. Not reacting doesn't mean you stay silent forever. It means you take a moment, you breathe, you think, and then you respond calmly.
And that's important not only for life, but also when you're learning English. If you don't panic and you give yourself a second, your English can sound clearer and more confident.
Exactly. So today we'll explore why not reacting is powerful, how it can change your relationships, and how you can use this skill when speaking English.
So grab your notebook, relax, and let's dive into today's topic, the power of not reacting.
So Julia, before we go deeper, let's make it simple. What do we actually mean when we say not reacting?
Good question, Jason. Not reacting means you don't immediately answer, fight back, or get emotional when something happens. Instead, you take a pause. You give yourself time to think.
Exactly. For example, imagine someone says something rude to you. The natural reaction might be to get angry and shout back.
But if you choose not to react right away, you just stay calm, maybe take a breath, and you don't let your emotions control you. Later, you can respond in a smarter way.
Yes, and it's important to remember, not reacting doesn't mean you ignore people or stay silent forever. It simply means you control your response instead of your emotions controlling you.
I like that, Jason. It's like you are the driver of the car, not your anger. You decide where to go.
That's a nice example, Julia. And for our listeners, this is a very useful skill not only in daily life, but also when speaking English.
Right. If you don't react quickly when you forget a word or when someone doesn't understand you, you can stay calm and try again. That's the power of not reacting.
So in simple words, not reacting means pause, breathe, and choose your response.
Yes, and when you do this, you are stronger and more confident in English and in life. Good point, Jason. I think one big reason is emotions. When people feel angry, stressed, or embarrassed, they react fast without thinking.
Yes, emotions are powerful. For example, if someone criticizes your English, you might feel hurt and quickly say something back. That's a reaction.
Exactly. Another reason is habit. Many people are used to reacting fast. Maybe at home or at work, they grew up in an environment where reacting quickly was normal.
True. And sometimes people react quickly because of fear. They're afraid of being wrong or of losing control, so they speak or act too fast.
Right. For example, in English conversations, some learners panic when they don't understand a word. Instead of staying calm, they react by saying, sorry, I can't speak," and the conversation stops.
Yes, that's a great example. Fear makes us react without thinking. But when we pause, we can find better words, or simply ask politely, "Can you please repeat that?"
So, to put it simply, people react quickly because of emotions, habits, and fear.
Exactly. And the good news is, once we understand why we react quickly, we can learn to change it.
Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about next, the power of pausing before responding.
So, Julia, now comes the interesting part. If reacting too quickly can cause problems, what happens when we pause before responding?
Well, Jason, pausing gives us power. When we pause, even for just a few seconds, we allow our brain to catch up with our emotions.
That's true. Think about it. If someone says something that makes you upset, your first reaction might be anger. But if you pause, take a breath, and wait, your anger goes down and you can respond more calmly.
Exactly. And responding calmly is always more effective than shouting or reacting emotionally. People respect you more when you stay calm.
Yes, I remember a story from one of my students. She told me that at work, her boss criticized her English in front of everyone. She felt embarrassed, but instead of reacting quickly, she paused. She smiled, took a deep breath, and then answered politely. Later, her boss even told her he respected her for staying calm.
That's a great example. Pausing doesn't make you weak, it actually makes you stronger. It shows self control.
And in English conversations, a pause can help you find the right words. Instead of rushing and making mistakes, you pause, think, and then speak more clearly.
Yes, in fact, native speakers also pause all the time. They don't always answer immediately. They use little pauses like, or let me think.
That's right. So, pausing is not strange. It's normal and powerful.
To put it simply, pausing before responding helps you control emotions, show confidence, and communicate more clearly.
And that's the power of pausing. A small pause can make a big difference.
Exactly, Jason. And next, we'll look at some daily life examples where not reacting can really change the situation.
All right, Julia. I think it's time to bring this idea into real life. Can we give some examples of how not reacting works in daily situations?
Of course, Jason. Let's start with the workplace. Imagine your boss or a coworker criticizes your work. The quick reaction might be to get defensive and argue, but if you don't react immediately and instead listen quietly, you show professionalism. Later, you can give your answer calmly.
Yes, that's a strong example. Another one is at school. Maybe a teacher corrects your English in front of the class. Some students might feel embarrassed and react with frustration. But if you stay calm, smile, and accept the correction, you actually look more confident.
Exactly. Let's also think about family and friends. Sometimes family members say things that hurt us. Instead of shouting back, if we just pause and let them finish, the situation doesn't turn into a big fight.
Yes, Julia. I remember once I had a disagreement with a close friend. Instead of reacting in anger, I decided to pause and listen. Later, I understood his point of view better. That pause saved our friendship.
That's a beautiful example. And let's not forget strangers. Imagine someone cuts in front of you in a line or says something rude in public. If you react quickly with anger, things can get worse. But if you don't react, you stay peaceful, and sometimes the other person even feels guilty for their behavior.
So true. And for our listeners, here's the key point. In all of these situations, not reacting gives you control. It protects your peace and helps you communicate better.
Yes, it's not about being silent forever. It's about choosing the right moment and the right way to respond.
Exactly. And when we connect this to English learning, these daily examples show that calmness makes communication smoother.
And that's why the power of not reacting is useful everywhere, at work, at school, at home, and even with strangers.
Very true. Now, let's go deeper into how not reacting can actually help with communication in English. So, Julia, we've talked about not reacting in daily life. But how does this actually help when we're speaking English?
That's a really good question, Jason. You see, many English learners feel nervous when they forget a word, make a mistake, or when someone doesn't understand them. Their first reaction is to panic.
Yes, I've seen that too. A learner might quickly say, "Sorry, I don't know," or they stop speaking completely. That's a reaction.
Exactly. But if they don't react immediately, if they just pause, smile, and take a second to think, they can usually find another way to explain their idea.
That's true. Not reacting gives you time to think of synonyms or simple words. For example, if you forget the word angry, you can say, not happy or mad.
Yes, that's such a smart way. And also, when you don't react with panic, the conversation feels more natural. People see you as calm and confident, even if your English is not perfect.
Exactly. And here's another point. Even native speakers pause when they speak. They use little phrases like, well, or let me think. So if you pause, it actually makes you sound more natural.
I love that point, Jason. So in English, not reacting means don't panic, don't stop, just pause, breathe, and continue.
Yes, and the more you practice this, the more confident you'll sound in every conversation.
Absolutely. And next, we'll share some practical steps that can help you practice the skill of not reacting.
All right, Julia. Now comes the important part. We know not reacting is powerful, but how can our listeners actually practice this skill in real life?
Great question, Jason. Let's give them some clear steps. The first step is pause and breathe. Whenever you feel strong emotions, anger, nervousness, or stress, just take one deep breath before you say anything.
Yes, that one breath makes a huge difference. It gives your brain a second to think before your mouth reacts.
Exactly. Step 2 is listen carefully. Instead of focusing on your own reaction, focus on the other person's words. Sometimes, when we listen fully, we realize it's not as bad as we thought.
That's so true. Listening helps you understand better, and it also shows respect to the other person.
Step 3 is use short pause phrases. In English, you can say things like, let me think, or that's interesting. These little phrases give you time without making the silence feel awkward.
I love that one, Julia. It's so practical for English learners. Instead of panicking, they can use a phrase to buy time and stay calm.
Yes. And step 4 is practice in small situations. You don't need to wait for a big argument or a stressful moment. Start practicing not reacting in daily conversations with friends, classmates, or even when you're watching TV.
That's right. You can even practice alone. For example, when you hear a question, don't answer immediately. Pause, think of your answer, and then speak slowly.
Perfect. And finally, step 5 is reflect after the conversation. Ask yourself, did I react quickly? Did I pause? How can I do better next time? This reflection helps you improve day by day.
Yes, reflection is powerful. It turns every conversation into a chance to grow.
So, to summarize, pause and breathe, listen carefully, use short phrases, practice in small situations, and reflect after.
Those are really practical steps. And if our listeners try them regularly, they'll see how much calmer and more confident they become.
Exactly. And now, let's talk about some common mistakes people make when they try to not react.
All right, Julia. We've just shared some great steps to practice not reacting. But I think it's also important to talk about the mistakes people make when trying this.
Yes, Jason. One common mistake is staying silent for too long. Some people think not reacting means saying nothing at all. But if you don't answer at all, the other person might feel ignored.
That's true. Not reacting doesn't mean avoiding the problem. It means pausing first, and then responding calmly.
Exactly. Another mistake is overthinking during the pause. Some learners pause, but then they start worrying, what should I say? What if I make a mistake? That stress makes the pause longer and more uncomfortable.
Yes, that's a big one. The pause should be short and natural, not filled with fear. That's why little phrases like, let me think, are so helpful.
Right. And the last mistake I see is when people confuse not reacting with hiding emotions. They try to look calm on the outside, but inside they are angry or scared. That doesn't really solve the problem.
Exactly. True strength comes when you are calm inside and outside.
So to avoid these mistakes, remember, pause, don't overthink, and always respond calmly instead of staying silent forever.
Yes, That's the right way to practice the power of not reacting. So, Julia, we've seen the steps and the mistakes. But I think a big part of not reacting is actually the mindset. How can someone train their mind to stay calm?
That's a great point, Jason. One important mindset tip is to remember that you don't have to answer immediately. Many people feel pressure to respond fast, but actually, a short pause shows confidence, not weakness.
Yes, I like that. Another tip is focus on solutions, not problems. When someone says something negative, instead of reacting emotionally, think, what can I do to solve this? That mindset changes everything.
Exactly. And here's another one. Practice gratitude and positive thinking. If you train your mind to look at the positive side, you'll react less emotionally. For example, if someone criticizes your English, instead of feeling hurt, you can think, this is a chance to improve.
That's powerful. And I'd add, control your body language. Even if you feel upset inside, if you keep your body calm, relax your shoulders, breathe slowly, and smile gently, your mind will also calm down.
Yes, our body and mind are connected. A calm body helps a calm mind.
So to sum up, the right mindset means no pressure to answer quickly. Focus on solutions, think positively, and use calm body language.
Exactly. With this mindset, not reacting becomes much easier.
And now, Julia, I think it's time to give our listeners a quick daily routine they can practice to build this skill. All right, Julia, let's give our listeners a quick daily routine they can use to practice not reacting. Something very simple they can do every day.
Sure, Jason. Here's a 90-second plan. Step 1, pause and breathe, 30 seconds. Sit quietly, take a deep breath, and focus on your breathing. This trains your mind to pause before reacting. Step 2, think of a response, 30 seconds. Imagine a situation where someone says something annoying. Think calmly about what you would say using polite words or short pause phrases like, let me think. Step 3, reflect, 30 seconds. Ask yourself, did I stay calm? Could I respond better? This reflection helps you improve little by little every day.
Yes, Julia. And the best part is, you only need 90 seconds. Do this daily, and over time, staying calm and not reacting will become a natural habit.
Exactly. Small daily practice makes a big difference in your life and in your English communication, too.
All right, Julia, we've covered a lot today about the power of not reacting. Let's give our listeners some key takeaways.
Yes, Jason. First, remember that not reacting doesn't mean staying silent. It means pausing, thinking, and then responding calmly.
Second, pausing helps you control emotions, communicate clearly, and build confidence both in life and in English.
Third, there are practical steps to practice. Pause and breathe, listen carefully, use short phrases, practice in small situations, and reflect afterward.
And don't forget the mindset. Focus on solutions, think positively, and keep your body calm. These small habits make a big difference.
Exactly. And remember, even just 90 seconds of daily practice can help you stay calm and respond effectively over time.
So, to our listeners, start practicing today. Take a pause before reacting and see the difference it makes in your conversations, your relationships, and your confidence in English.
Yes, stay calm, stay confident, and remember the power of not reacting is in your hands.
And that's all for today's episode on the power of not reacting.
Yes, Jason, we hope you enjoyed it and that you can start practicing these tips in your daily life and English conversations.
If you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and share it with your friends who are learning English.
And remember, small daily practice makes a huge difference. Stay calm, take a pause, and respond confidently.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing, stay calm, and enjoy your English journey.